I'm taking my dad class hopping today, agricultural class hopping today. So our first stop is UGA for the live cattle class, and then we're heading over to the beekeeping class. So that's what's on the agenda for today. I hope he's up to it. And he learns a lot. We'll do a recap together directly after this video to see what he's learned and if he liked the experience. But I always attend classes just to make sure I know what I'm doing, what I'm going to do, and to see if there's any new techniques, technology that's been introduced. So yeah, that's the whole purpose, and I hope he actually enjoys the experience. So recap at the end of this video. Today we are at UGA for a live cattle training. The class is located right next door to the greenhouses for UGA, University of Georgia. This is a really nice setup. I love the fact that they have the all-season greenhouses. There's my dad. I have him with me today. But yeah, this is nice, y'all. Look at the setup. So we're gonna be having class in this area. So if you look behind me, you see the greenhouses have fans to help regulate the temperature, which is so awesome. That's exactly what's needed for the all-season greenhouses. So gotta look at the cost of something like that in order to add it onto the property. But that is an awesome innovation. Yeah, I'm definitely impressed. You see the fans? And of course the vents that let the hot air out of the greenhouse, especially during high noon. Look at how beautiful the landscaping is directly outside of the classroom that we're attending today. That flower has got to be one of the most beautiful flowers that I've seen in a long time. Look how big it is. It's almost the size of my hand. So beautiful. Just had to point this out. I love landscaping, so I think they did a really good job putting this together. My favorite colors are out here too, the purples and the pinks. Oh man, look at that. This is so nice. And of course they got some nectar for the hummingbird. This is really a beautiful setup outside of the classroom. So I wanted to show this to you, along with, of course, the greenhouses. So I'm walking in so I can prepare for the live cattle class.
Do you have the instructions of everything?
Yeah.
Where's that?
It's in my notes app, but I texted it to your work.
Insurance type program, so you don't have to keep up with your production. You'll have to turn that in yearly to FSA, and of course purchase a policy, a coverage policy. There are some deadlines. I think for forage and grazing, the deadline to purchase a policy is like November 15th of the prior year. So really at November 15th of 2023, you'll purchase coverage for 2024. So producers that fall under the beginning limited resource, underrepresented, and qualifying veterans will have the service fee waived. That's a $325 service fee that you have to pay. buy up coverage, you can buy additional coverage, higher rates of coverage. That will cost a little bit more money to purchase that. So we'll offer, there'll be a yearly sign up announced. You'll submit an offer, and you're competing against other producers. Some of the things on the rankings are like environmental factors like erosion, benefits to wildlife, things like that. So you'll be ranked against other producers. And if you get in the program, you'll be provided with an annual rental payment, and then you'll have a conservation plan that you will have to follow, and there may be the conservation plan could recommend like you install some type of rotational grazing if it doesn't already exist. And this could be like putting in cross fences, water crops, things like that. I will say, egg operations
every year, we vary a little bit every year. It's based on a USDA cost list, so it's not necessarily based on market prices. And it's an opportunity for producers that are interested in elevating their sustainability and their resiliency to install practices like the ones that we just discussed. Eligibility criteria on your farm, and so they'll get you a farm and trade numbers like an account that you it's not obligated to do anything, but you will need to have one of those if you're going to ask to participate in these programs. You make an appointment with our office. We find an office in every county in the country, and we're also we're usually associated with FSA, and Extension also knows about us.
From Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. It's best to melt your wax in a double boiler, so the water is, everybody know what a double boiler is, or a crock pot will work too. But when these rollers are new, they will not absorb beeswax. So what you have to do is, first thing, you gotta leave it in the wax for like 20, 30 minutes, let it warm up. And then, to get the wax to go into the foam roller, you gotta push it into the bottom of the pot to force the air out, and it will, and then suck the wax in, and then you can wax your foundation back, down and back. And as you can see, it's totally covered. So that side's not as much as that side. So how should I install these frames from the nuke into the deep? What order should I put them in? Should I keep them all the same? Should I move them around?
Keep them the same.
Keep them the same. That's what everybody says, right?
No, those should go on the outside, right? Or the honey goes on the outside.
Okay, you're getting there. You're getting there. So in in everything you'll ever see, they'll say, "Oh, just put the nuke exactly like it is in the nuke box in the deep box." But that is a problem. So that's what we've done there, right? And we put 3 more frames in. Put a feeder on. But here's the problem.
When they get to the honey, they'll stop.
You're smart.
What do you say?
Okay, here's the problem.
That honey frame.
See that honey frame?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you've already been sworn to secrecy at some other meeting, I guess. So a honey frame is the outside of the brood nest. And you can feed them gallons of syrup. They will not draw the comb out here. I was a very frustrated beekeeper until I learned this in year 3. So the correct way to install a nuke, you always take out an outside frame first, because then all your other frames can go over and out, right? So when we install the nuke and we find a honey frame, what's a honey frame? It's honey, nectar, some combination. A frame can be foundation, which is this, right? Foundation. It could be drawn comb, which is empty drawn comb. It could be pollen, meaning majority of the frame is pollen. It could be brood, where you've got, this middle part is brood with maybe honey up here, maybe some pollen and all that. That would be a brood frame. So brood, pollen, honey, foundation, and empty drawn comb. So when we put it like this, in between the brood and the honey, this frame of foundation, they will use it as it's now in the brood nest. So we go, there it is, and we're feeding them. It's been 3 or 4 weeks now, and we do an inspection. And again, we don't do that in the real world. And we do our inspection, and that frame is now drawn out, and they're using it for brood production. So again, we always take out an outside frame first. All the other frames go sideways and then up. So here we go. And we're looking brood, 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 brood. Oh, look at this. This is a honey frame now. So guess what we can do over here? Same thing. So now we're going to put this is brood, so we're moving, see I move frames all the time for a reason. So it's been 4 weeks since we did that first, put the frame of foundation inside the honey. Now we've done this again, wait another 4 weeks, give or take. And again, we're feeding them, and lo and behold, they're using these 2 frames now. Let's call this pollen. I think they should be drawing out the comb, and they're just like, nope, we're not going out there and drawing out the comb. Just simple, we're not going out there. So that's what, I'm sorry?
I think the crutch, kind of make excuses for us old timers and tell them move everything over the same, is to avoid swipping and swapping and flipping around the brood frame. You still want to keep the core of the brood nest intact, but like you're saying, you want to shift
Yeah,
it empty.
We're putting the foundation
brood and
frames.
storage.
Good morning, good morning. We got 17 acres here, and we about 55% through. We have some cattle out here. Also, we can have several beehives. You can see that we've been cutting logs over here. Then we have a guy to come in to clean all that area up, about 3 acres, and we'll be good to go, you know. So everything coming together real good, real good. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. How do you feel about the courses that you took for UGA, University of Georgia, in the beehive?
Well, you know, like, I'm still learning, you know. What I learned from Miami-Dade FIU, and that course, it's an asset into doing what I'm doing now. So I learned a whole lot about cattle, especially about bees, you know. And I think we're on the right course. You know? So thumbs up.
Thumbs up, right?